I'm Wadey G, and I said what I said.
I said what I said,
As
and
always.
I'm not changing on it.
All right, you guys, I'm sure you heard the terrible news by now. Another public relation of two black same gender loving men has went kaput, but this couple's relationship ending has really gone ugly right before our eyes. And if you don't know who I'm talking about by now, I'm speaking of Kash Dinero and Rico Pruitt. Many of us know them from having an OnlyFans account together for, I don't know, months or years, as well as being in the adult entertainment industry, sharing their sex videos on Twitter and all kinds of stuff. And also too, they've been acting, so I don't want to just reduce them to only adult actors or porn stars. They're more than just that. They've been on shows for Signal 23, and I don't remember any other ones, but I know they've done acting. Before I even get into the lessons learned from this relationship, because I just seen how it got played out, it was so ugly. I don't know who pulled the trigger first, but from the way I received the information, it seemed like Rico Pruitt got on his Instagram Live or one of his social media platforms to let everybody know that he and Kash broke up. And I could understand that, just letting us know just only because they have been a couple publicly and people have been following them, and their accounts together have been taken down, so both of them are starting from scratch with new accounts on their social media. But after his announcement and explaining why is where it got ugly really fast. Now, he, in his words, supposedly they had a very violent relationship. He didn't get into specifics on how violent, but the part that I believe everybody who listened to his video will remember is that Kash supposedly left him penniless despite making thousands and thousands of dollars together on their OnlyFans account, and that Kash has according to him, Kash has a severe cocaine problem and had gotten Rico hooked on it, to which Rico said he no longer does. Now, that was, I forgot what day I saw that. I believe it was Sunday or Monday when I saw his videos, or his one video. But then I see Kash Dinero's response to what Rico said. And I saw two different types of responses. One was a much lengthier one than the other. The first one, he just wanted to drop, or actually more so respond to the allegations that Rico said Kash should put out there. Look, we both did drugs together. We both did cocaine together. Do not put this all on me. And why put out my dirty laundry? Make this about you. But then he really went for the jugular. He talked about his allegedly absent mother, who allegedly abandoned Rico right after birth. Something about having relationship issues with all of his family members, not having real friends. And then I decided to watch a lengthier video that he posted a couple of days ago where he went into details. Now, one thing I will applaud him for, despite how much he drug Rico, is that Kash admitted to a lot more things that he felt he was at fault for in the relationship and just in his personal life than Rico admitted. It seemed like he was a bit more the transparent one in their explanations. However, I have to say it's wrong on both accounts for them to drag each other the way they did. Now, speaking as somebody who used his platform many years ago to drag somebody else that pissed them off, and it just wasn't a good deal. But Rico pulled the trigger, and I just believe Kash responded in a ex-lover who was hurt. And he even admitted, he said Rico was the one who ended the relationship, told him to get out, accused him of things that he said he didn't do, and so forth, so on. Now, So now that you have the gist of the relationship, I'm sure some of you are giving me the side eye and judging them on what in the hell can we learn from a relationship that was public by two people who use their platform just to promote pornography and all kinds of behaviors I wouldn't do. And I'm sure you wouldn't do it in public like they do, and I'm sure you're doing it behind closed doors. So hold your judgment until I tell you these 3 things that I feel like we could really take away and actually empathize with both of them. I wouldn't say feel sorry for them, because that's what they do not need. They just really need some good love and energy from people who are their fans and just people in the community, and just say, you know what, we understand both of you are hurt. All right, so number 1, going public with your relationship. Let me tell you, they're not the first, and I'm sure they're not going to be the last. We've seen, and I don't want to, first of all, let's not compare ourselves to celebrities or heterosexual people, okay? Just talking specifically within the LGBTQ community, especially Black or people of color. Being that our representations of same-gender loving couples are very few, despite there might be a few hundred plus, still very few in comparison to the rest of the world. Now, when you have a coupleship that is as public and as noticeable as Kash and Rico, there's going to be a lot of judgments and a lot of opinions. And so that's why I tell everybody who's in a public relationship or decide to announce their relationship on social media and do little videos together, do a blog, do an OnlyFans account together, be mindful you've opened yourself up for public meddling. Whether they are congratulating you, celebrating you, condemning you, asking certain questions, giving you certain side eyes over certain activities that you and your significant other does, you just have to know that what come with it. That's why you see many couples choose not to be public, at least on a social media level, internet level. They could be public amongst friends, family, local people, those who really, really matter in their lives, and not just for the general public, and be like, look at me. We've seen couples who have just got together, married, divorced, or want a divorce, and then just document it all. Oh, please feel sorry for me. I want to get divorced. And everybody has something to say. People will say, oh, well, you shouldn't have got married, or, well, you both were Instagram models, and this ain't no shade to anybody, but you gotta just be careful of putting your relationship out in public. And I just hope this is, even though Rico and Kash have been out in the spotlight for years, even before they got together, that going forward, maybe they should reconsider if they don't want that public involvement in what goes on in their public relationships. All right. Number 2, be careful about spilling the tea when you're hurt or when you feel like you've been wrong. I know that from firsthand experience, using my blog platform to call people out on shit that was personal to me. And even though it's weird because the reception that you get is always mixed. People gonna applaud you, especially if you're calling out other people that they don't like, which I still believe is toxic to me. And then you got people who are condemning you, thinking you're the worst person on earth, maybe because they're fans of the people you're talking about. But then there are others who just say, why are you putting this kind of business out? Also, too, this is the internet, so be careful of what kind of information you're putting out about yourself and others, because it may come back to bite you. Now, some people will say, well, look, they already out there by putting out adult videos and sex videos, and they're doing all kinds of stuff with other couples and threesomes and all of that stuff. How much lower can it go? Well, I mean, if that is their chosen career path, there's nothing wrong with that. As long as they stay in that industry, not trying to go to corporate America and have to explain their past or run for some kind of political office and fate in a conservative area, you know, they'll be fine. Now, even in the adult entertainment industry, you could do things to screw yourself over. It's not who you have sex with, how many partners you've had sex with. It's talking about your private indiscretions. When Rico first brought up their use of cocaine, and I don't know if they mentioned other drugs, but I just remember cocaine. For him to bring up the uses of their uses of cocaine could really hurt him. It could hurt Rico, or it could hurt Kash too. But more so Rico, because he put Kash's business out there. So who knows who Kash is connected to in parts of the adult entertainment industry, who his friends are, powerful people that may like Kash more than they like Rico, or just happen to like Rico because they like Kash. Rico could lose a lot of work, relationships, and means of securing the bag because of his mouth. You have to be careful of that. That's why even when I did my whole outing of, not outing, but just airing my grievances with certain people, I knew what kind of consequences could happen. I chose to do it anyways. Most people I see who do these things, usually I could tell they have not really assess what their consequences are. So Kash may be in not Kash, but Rico may be in a lot of trouble over outing that. But then, Kash, you weren't that innocent either when you went for the jugular. You went after his family, his alleged mother, or his mother who allegedly abandoned him at 2 months old and not having a relationship with his father. I mean, that's a painful thing a lot of us have experienced in our life. Both of my parents weren't in my life past age 3, especially my mother, who left me much sooner. So, I mean, I know those things don't impact me if people were to throw that in my face today. It's just, you gotta be careful with that, man. It's just, I know hurt people. And that's where I get to my third point. Hurt people. I would say this is not a time for us to really condemn, praise, or judge either one of them intently, but to really send them a lot of love and light. They need it. It even begs me to always revisit the thought I always had about the adult entertainment industry for Black gay porn stars. I personally, and this is just from my observation, I haven't seen as much successes as I do, I don't want to say failures, but I see much more extreme drama and horrible circumstances that come out of this than I see success stories. I rarely see success stories of black gay men who are in the adult industry that use the money to finish a degree or go for something that's way bigger than the porn industry. I haven't seen those kind of stories there, and I'm sure there are some. I'm not aware of it, so I'm not judging. I have seen lots of tragedies. I've seen homelessness amongst them. I've seen stories where some of them either committed suicide or committed drug overdoses that took their lives. I've seen where some of them got really used and misused in the industry, especially at the hands of white men who run those companies, and their health has been at risk over it. Not gonna mention one company who I was in a legal battle with once upon a time and won. But I really do. And also to the mentalities of the men who get into the industry. what their mentality's like. Why did they have to choose it? This is not. That's why I say this is not a time for us to judge them. They took paths that we probably wouldn't have taken. They chose to make it into a living. They put their bodies through so many things because of it. But this is where I say, just like when we feel like we're making decisions that could put our lives at risk, or feel like we're at the bottom of our lives, or we hit rock bottom, we don't want condemnation. We don't want people pointing at us, judging at us, giving all kinds of side eyes and laughing at us when we're at our worst. So I just say we do the same for them. Because the one good thing that I took out of it is, at least I'm going to say Kash Dinero. I actually believe, but they both said this about themselves, but I believe Kash Dinero. Both of them said that they will put themselves through rehab. I believe that is a great step forward to whatever it is that they want to do next individually. I really felt Kash was more sincere in his, because Kash, I could see in his video responses, was speaking out of pain. And I saw some of the comments were saying, well, Kash talks like an abuser. Kash talks like he was in control of the relationship. I did not follow their relationship that intently to observe their dynamics or how they treat one another. So all I could go by is the things that I did see. So I'm just going by the videos. So if he was the abuser, if he was the controlling one, hopefully part of his rehab will be some therapy to help him get over those things. But then also for Rico, I've seen Rico publicly put people on blast he used to be with. I'm not gonna bring up their names because they're long past those, I believe. But he needs that therapy too. Not for just drugs, but for whatever feelings that had triggered him to get to this point he has been with Kash. So they both need help. They both need help. They mention they will, so let's applaud them and encourage them, even if it takes them a minute to get there. And when they do, let's celebrate them for finishing and completing, and wish them the best so that they don't go back to any of those bad habits that got them in this predicament. I said what I said.
I said what I said,
As
and
always.
I'm not changing on it.